Caden. Talking about the center?
Yeah, and then also Corey, too,
okay.
just the two new guys.
So with Corey, it was like, hey, we got to be better on obvious passing down situations, okay? So not a huge issue on 1st and 10 for us, not a huge issue on 2nd and 2 for us. It's, hey, it's 3rd and 8. Everybody in the stadium knows it's a passing down. We got to perform. We got to perform. And I thought we were way under the mark last season. We got to be able to win one-on-one battles. When that guy knows his pass, grandma knows his pass, everybody knows his pass, can you win? And so that was the number one priority was, hey, let's go find the best pass blocking tackle we can get. All right, and we'll make him right in the run game. You know, we feel like our run game culture is really good here. Last year we were first in the SEC in rushing efficiency. So we think the run game culture that we have in the room was really solid. We say, hey, we'll take a guy even if he's below whatever standard, but if he can pass block on 3rd and 9, all right, that's going to be who we go after. Corey was our first choice. That's who we went after, and that's who we got. And then Kidler, it was like, can we get a guy who's done the position, played the position in big moments and hostile environments that can handle the pressure of making the calls and, you know, just a personality. As center, you want a personality that you vibe with as the line coach. You know, I've been really blessed to have coached some awesome centers in my career. And when you and your center are on the same page, man, it's really hard to be bad. You know, and when you're not, it's not very fun. And so I think just personality-wise, he was a great fit for us too. So he's done a great job.
And then with it going to full pads today, and you were talking about pursuit of the ball, is that why you started out with an Indy, kind of that 3v3 drill where the guy tails on the shoulder and you have to run out a little bit and meet a guy?
Yeah. Well, which drill are you talking about?
I don't know the name for it. It's just, I think it was like a 3v3, and then guys would be defenders would be holding the pads, waiting.
Oh, that was counter drill, and so that was we're just working gap schemes. Those are counter pulls, guard, tackle, counter. Yeah, that's all that was.
Last year it seemed like you mentioned the struggles on pure passing situations, and it seemed like sometimes the opposing defenses had some success blitzing, especially maybe up the middle. Is that what can Caden do to kind of alleviate that this season?
I mean, it's everything. I mean, no one, because here's the deal. They're going to line up in 1 or 2 fronts on base downs, you know. 3rd down, that's is what the D coordinators live for. This is what they do all offseason is what kind of cool stuff can we come up with on passing downs to confuse the group. So you go into a game, all right, hey, these are the 3 subgrouping rush packages we got to be ready for. Here's the game plan for them, okay? Every game, there's going to be a new subgrouping rush package that you're not ready for. I mean, the D coordinators, and I think they're smart because you're not going to do the same exact blitz pattern out of that same exact load front that you did week 1 as week 2 because we rep it, right? So you got to be able to have rules for the structure. Okay, is it overload? Is it loose double mug? All right, is it a 3-2 mug where one guy's going to spy tailing and the other guy's going to have the back, and they're going to flush rush you? Okay, so there's all these various 3rd down things we see. We go into the game with, hey, here's the game plan of what we're going to do. If something else shows up, we got to rely on our base principles of the protection, right? Our base rules to be able to survive that down. Okay, because it's never a good enough excuse to your coordinator, well, they hadn't shown that before. BS. Okay, that ain't the answer. The answer is your base rules got to be good enough to stop that new thing that maybe you hadn't seen. And so whenever you have a center where you're on the same page with him and they know the game plan for the stuff that we know is on film, right? We know that they're going to do this, and then what are the things they might do? Like I'll guess, like, hey, I think they're probably going to put in this wrinkle now. And so we'll rep that. You know, even though they hadn't shown it, I just years in this league and years going against it, you're ready. You know like this is the next thing in the maturation process of this 3rd down package, and so then you might work that on Wednesday. So you really just need to have that trust, and when that center commands it, man, when he commands it, everybody feels that confidence, right? When it's soft and like that's when everybody starts playing timid, right? And so I think all of our centers have done a really good job. I mean, this year we got 3 centers that know what we want, know the game plan versus what our defense is doing, which our defense gives us a lot, and they're executing and make the right calls. And man, blocking on 3rd down is 85% knowing who you got, right? The other 15 is just winning. But just know, we had too many issues where there's a free runner. Hey, the game plan was to do a 4-man slide, and we don't get it called, right? That's an issue, and I feel like we've improved in that area a lot.
You touched on the freshmen's their body fat earlier. How have they impressed you? Maybe just in practice, and I would say it was the first day of pads, but we got to see a couple of them working with like the second team offensive line today. It seems like maybe they're further ahead than some freshmen might be.
Maybe the best group of freshmen I've had as far as toughness, football IQ, passion for the game. They just check a lot of boxes for young guys, man. And they all check that physical maturity box I talked about. They all are big, and they all are strong. I mean, Cash, LJ, and Blake are 3 of our strongest O-linemen that we have. And they're all true freshmen. So they check that box from a physical standpoint, and then I've just been amazed at their ability to handle the install. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I mean, I think Cash Courtney as a center has maybe, 4 MAs through this whole practice camp so far, which is like crazy with how much install we have.
It kind of leads me to my next question. Coach Pittman always talks about needing multiple centers. Just how do you feel about the depth you have behind Kittler?
Yeah, great. I mean, I feel a lot better this year than last year. I mean, you like to have 4 that you feel like, Coach Pitt will say 5, but I think in 2020 at BYU we played the Boca Bowl with our 4-string center, so that's the deepest I had ever got. So I haven't got to 5, so maybe I'm just blessed. But you like to have 4, and I feel good about it. Right now I think we could put 3 out there right now and run us through the game and win an SEC game. I do. I think all 3 of those guys know the offense. They're all strong. They all know what they're doing, and so I feel confident with our depth there.
And you mentioned that year at BYU where you said you felt like you had 7 or even 8 starters. When you go into a game with that many guys, you have like a plan like, hey, these guys are going to play this series and this guy's going to play this series, and is it a feel after that point? Or kind of how do you go about doing that if you do have multiple guys?
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. I mean, you have a plan. Hey, I want to put this guy in 3rd series. And if the guy that's in is kind of cooking, let him cook. Don't turn the heat off on him. And then, if a guy goes in and does the opposite, you might feel compelled to maybe change it a little faster than that. But yeah, it becomes a feel thing. And you got it. You nailed it. That's what it is.